Welcome to the Agent to Agent podcast, the show that connects you with top real estate professionals across the country to uncover what life is really like in their communities. So, whether you are a fellow real estate agent looking for a trusted referral partner or somebody who's thinking about making a move, you'll find insider insights into what life is like in each of these communities to help you feel right at home no matter where you land. So, let's jump in. All right, everybody, let's get started. Today, we have Steve Voronkov on the podcast. Steve represents Southwest Florida, luxury agent in that area, also founder of KW Golf and Golf Aficionado. So I'm super excited to have him here today. Let's welcome Steve to the podcast. Steve, how you doing today, buddy?
Happy Monday, Chris. I'm doing good.
Awesome, man.
Coming to you live from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida on the East Coast.
I love it, man. I love it. Happy Monday to you too, my friend. Appreciate you jumping on the podcast with us. I'm excited to share your story with some of our listeners and viewers out here. So let's just kind of jump off right where we're at right now. Tell us a little bit about yourself, my man. Like, how'd you get into the business? What are you about? Like, give us the rundown.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, man. Like you've become a really good friend of mine in the process of referring each other, and I just really appreciate you and appreciate you having me on. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, man.
I am a South Florida native since I was 10 years old. I'm originally from South Jersey near Philadelphia in a place called Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And my parents moved here when I was in fifth grade. So I was raised in South Florida since I was 10 years old. I love golf. I've always had a passion for it. Besides golf, I'm a father. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I'm married. I grew up in South Florida, loving golf, loving spearfishing, loving the beach. I was a full-time musician before I became a realtor. So I did that since I was a teenager. Music was my first love, and I play guitar and I sing, and that was kind of my deal. I thought I was going to be famous by the time I was 20, and it didn't quite work out like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, been doing real estate for 10 years now. Really full time. It's probably been 6 years full time.
Okay.
I was doing music and real estate at the same time, so I would play gigs at nighttime and try to do deals during the day, and that's kind of when I started.
That's amazing, man. It's great to hear that you tried so long, and not that you tried. I know that you still do music and stuff like that, but it's great that you were doing that for so long, that passion. I'm curious, is there anything that you learned or, any soft skill sets or anything that you took away from your time as a musician, like when you made that transition over to real estate, where you kind of saw a little bit of like transferable skills or just transferable experience that kind of helped you get into build the business to where you're at today?
Definitely. Because number one, the number one thing I would transfer is that marketing is everything.
Okay.
Marketing is everything. So when I was in a band, I was constantly marketing my band and posting about my band, and everything was always posting songs and posting videos and pictures of me playing gigs. I transferred that skill to real estate on social media. So it's like if I was on a Friday night playing a gig, I'd be putting videos of myself playing live in front of a big crowd. Now I'm posting videos of myself touring homes and like the houses I'm selling. And I was always writing stuff, always in a state of like marketing. Always.
Yeah. No, I think that's perfect. I mean, you're a beast over on social media. I mean, from your actual just your social media, and then KW Golf, man. I mean, you founded KW Golf. It's got to be just a little bit over a year now, and I think didn't you just break like 1,000 members in the group or something like that?
Dude, we're about to cross the 1,000 person mark. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see. So this morning we were at 990 members.
Ooh, 990.
We need 10 more people to get to 1,000. Come on.
We can do it. People. So we got 10 people watching this podcast who are golf aficionados or want to pick up the sport in any capacity. KW Golf on the Facebook group is where you need to be. Let's help Steve get to that 1,000 member group. That's a huge milestone right there.
I don't care if you love mini golf or putt or chip and putt. Like if you love golf in any way, shape, or form, you should be in this group.
It's free. If you play pop stroke, you got to be in there, right?
Yeah, 100% counts. Absolutely.
I love it, man. So you went from musician to real estate, been in the business for 10 years, right? 7 years kind of full time. What prompted that transition and like what ultimately drove that passion or that interest into real estate that made you decide to make that pivot from, being full-time musician to now full-time real estate agent?
Yeah, I love these questions. So, so when I was playing music, I was playing music 5 or 6 days a week, and
Okay.
my voice would get really tired. And can you hear me? My
Yep.
uncle Rich, who's like my mentor and like one of my best friends, he's almost 80 years old. He's my uncle. He
Okay.
was a mortgage guy for 30 years, and when I was a broke college kid and a musician, I would play golf with him every single week, and it'd be just me and him. And he was probably 60 and he was retired. So he was like, look, man, like how much money are you comfortable making for the rest of your life? And I was like, man, if I was making 50 grand, 60,000 a year, I'd be stoked as a singer songwriter. And
Uh-huh.
he like really dug into me one day and was like, look, man, you want to be successful. You want to have a family. You want to travel. You want to do anything you want to do whenever you want to do it. Real music is not going to get you there. Right. And he like had a real hard conversation with me, and I was like, wow, maybe I should consider something else. And I started thinking about real estate because I had other friends that did real estate, and he's like, I think that's the route you should go, you know?
Okay.
And so I got my license, and I'm horrible test taker, but I got my license, right? And he was really pushing me. And my father is also in sales. He was in the hospitality industry and worked at Harrah's Casinos, JM Lexus, and a bunch of casino businesses. My grandfather worked for Members Only, if you know who that is. It's like an old jacket company,
Mhm.
right? Traveling salesman. So I feel like I have sales in my blood because we're not really salesmen. We're just good at handling and talking to people. Because
Right.
like I have like a natural gift of gab. I think So I feel like that seemed like a good route to go. And he kind of sat me down and was like, "You want to make a good living. You got to do this." And the combination of that conversation is as I also met Jimmy Buffett at the same time. Okay, so
That's pretty cool.
long story short, I was a branded Margaritaville entertainer, right? So I was making a couple $100s a night playing gigs. And when we got hired by Margaritaville, uh, the guy who is Jimmy Buffett's right hand man, his name's Joe Janelle.
Mhm.
He met me and he was like, "Hey, can you hang out for a minute? I want to introduce you to somebody." I was like, "Sure." Comes back with Jimmy Buffett, my idol, right? So I freak out. I'm like, "This is incredible. I met Jimmy Buffett. He's my favorite singer in the world."
Mhm.
And I was like, "All right, well, he watched my band play. I'm gonna get famous now." Right? I was like,
Yeah.
so
That's all it takes.
yeah, it's all it takes. And I was like, I'm on the path. I'm on the path. And I had just got my real estate license, So I'm like, which one should I do? And I'm like, should I go all in with music or should I go all in with real estate? But now meeting Jimmy Buffett, I think I might get a break, you
Mhm.
know? And his manager sits down with me after about a year or so of playing gigs there. And he goes, look, man, you want to make it in the music business? I was like, yeah. He goes, well, imagine millions of people trying to get into this little tiny door, right? He goes, that's the music business. And he's like, it is so hard to make it. And he's like, are you prepared to go on the road and never return, basically, and like be comfortable with that, with your raising a family and having kids? Like, are
Yeah.
you cool with like being on the road and like doing like that? And I thought so hard about it. And one day I was like, I'm going all in with real estate, and I just kind
Yeah.
of made that choice. I'm like, I gave music 10 years of my life and my soul, and I gave it all I got, and it wasn't quite getting me what I want financial
Yeah.
wise. And I was just tired of it, and I got really tired of playing all the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going all in with real estate because like when I'm all in with something, I go all in. And
Right.
I stopped playing music, went all in with real estate, and thank God I did because a year later or 2 years later, COVID hit and music was done. No, there was no live music.
Right.
So right at that pivotal point of like starting real estate and starting to make some money doing real estate, music was done. So it was like the Tony Robbins quote, if you want the island, you burn the boats, right? I
Mhm.
burned I burned the boats with music, and because of that, I got very fortunate because I started making real good money with real estate, as you know, when COVID
Yeah,
took off.
absolutely.
That's a
Well,
long
and
story.
no, it's fine, but it's a great story though, right? Because you have a reason and you have a purpose that what drove you into the business, right? We often hear that real estate is the greatest industry in the world. And I think a lot of it comes down just to the flexibility of it, but also, you didn't say it directly, but I heard one of your big values being family, right? And I think that was I think that when you had that conversation with Buffett's manager and he had made that mention of you being on the road, like are you willing to do this while trying to raise that family that you mentioned was an important thing for you, and that value alignment seemed to be a little bit disconnected, whereas I think that you saw the opportunity if you went all in like you said you did with real estate, that you could have everything that you were chasing through music just
Yep.
through a different vehicle. And it doesn't mean you got to put down your guitar, right? I'm sure that you still strum it away. Maybe even at some open houses, you're serenading the guests as they're walking through the home. So
When I first started, when I first started real estate part time and stuff, I would
yeah,
I would I would call myself the Rockin' Realtor, and I would bring my guitar to open houses, and I would play my own open houses with music, and like I was literally branding myself as the Rockin' Realtor, and at some point I kind of stopped doing that, you know.
you should bring that back as like a little small social series, man. Like
I
I
should, I should.
I think that would be fun. I would tune into that. I'm biased though, Steve. I tune into a lot of your stuff anyways, but I think that would be fantastic. I think that would be a big hit. So
Well, keep pushing me. You know, I'll do it.
I'll do it. I'm making a mental note now. We're gonna put that on the goal list to try and push you towards. So all right, man. Well, let's switch gears just a little bit. I'm curious, we're talking a little bit about real estate too. So now we know a little bit about Steve. Love to know a little bit more about, your area real estate market, like, what's going on down there. I mean, what do you love most about serving your community where you're at, and what types of clients are you typically helping?
Sure. Well, look, I'll tell you the truth is that I love South Florida. Like
Mhm.
it's like my mistress, my best friend. Like I love the beaches here. I'm obsessed with the Atlantic Ocean and how crystal clear the blue water is, and how there's so many cool activities for you to do living here. You can play golf all the time, pickleball, the beach. Like in the wintertime when it's freezing everywhere else, it is so gorgeous here. You know, it's pristine. Like Jupiter and Palm Beach Gardens is my favorite. That's where my office is. That's where all the PGA players live. You know, there's so many nice golf courses here, and you
Mhm.
never get bored. There's so many waterfront restaurants. You can never go to the same place twice. So it's just a spectacular place to live and an amazing place to grow up. Right? I
Mhm.
grew up on a boat, like going spearfishing and snorkeling and doing all these fun things that I never could have done in New Jersey. You know,
Yeah.
like I probably would have ended up in the mob or something if I lived in Jersey.
Oh,
So here in the South Florida market, we saw a tremendous increase in values from COVID. People
mhm.
started flocking down here like you would never believe, and the values went up almost 50% of what from 2019 when they bought it. You know, values went up 50%. Right
Wow.
now, we're starting to see a softening and a correction, and
Mhm.
the market is definitely recalibrating from that height. I believe personally that the height was in 2022, and now those prices are just kind of deflating. And
Yeah.
what we're seeing, in addition to that, in my opinion, is that the market is partially frozen because so many people have rates that are low, and they're locked. It's a lock-in effect. The golden
Yeah.
handcuffs, they call it golden handcuffs, where they have rates that are so low they can't afford to go anywhere else, right? So because of that, we're starting to see not values coming down like a crash, it's just recalibrating. So
Yeah.
on the downslope, my buyers are seeing amazing deals happen. So for example, you referred me an amazing couple that we closed recently in Port St. Lucie in the Treasure Coast. They got an incredible deal on new construction where they paid all their closing costs and they gave them a permanent low rate, right?
Yeah.
So like that is incredible, right? So in addition to that, uh, I got a buyer for 900. The listing was 975. I got it for 900. I had another one. The listing was 750. Got it for 699. So the buyers that are taking advantage of this time of this uncertainty, they're winning really hard because they're taking advantage of the situation and getting good deals. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, this market's creating really really good opportunities for people, myself included, because we're about to buy a house also.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I know that we talk to, you know, specifically when I'm talking to buyers at sometimes, especially when they're looking at new construction homes, they kind of look at like what the sticker price is, right, and what the offering is. And I'm curious, down in your market, right, the buyers who were talking to, you got them into the new construction home, pretty much for no closing costs. Was that the offering that the builder was offering, or was that through some tactful negotiations on your end to help get them there from what the initial offering was?
Honestly, the builders are offering, like, if they really want a deal to be done, they're willing to work with you and do whatever it is. So it was kind of
Yeah.
a negotiation where it was like a dance, which it always is. I said, look,
Yes.
the buyers really want no closing costs out of their pocket, and they want like a fixed low rate. And when you go through these some of these builders lenders, they offer super low rates.
Yeah. We're seeing
You
that
can
up here too.
and you can also use like some of the closing costs to buy your rate down even more. Like
Hmm.
there's it's not COVID where you had to pay over asking, you had to like do whatever the hell you had to do to get the deal. Now it's like the sellers and the builders are like giving these houses away essentially. Not giving it away, but they're giving really good incentives to make you want to buy it.
Right. Yeah. They've got some inventory. They need to get rid of the inventory. They're not trying to give
Yeah.
the house away, but they're trying to clear it too at the same time.
The in my opinion, you tell me what you think. I think the best deals are the quick move-in homes, like where like they're built already or they're almost done or they're sitting on the
Mhm.
market that they're already built and they need to get rid of these deals to start the new phase, right?
Yep.
That's the best deals to look for, in my opinion, for new construction.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing here too, up in on the Orlando market. So it's one of those those are the homes that they're trying to push, right? So they're attaching a lot of the incentives and stuff to
It's
those. So
called
it, even
QMI,
huh?
QMI, quick move-in.
Yes, QMI, quick move in. So we're seeing that as well. Builders are really looking to push those quick move in homes. So
Good.
that's awesome. So what kind of client do you typically work with? A specific type of clientele? Like I know that you're heavy on the golf course.
Mhm.
I know that you're really you've got a really strong referral network with other agents throughout the country too. So I mean, but do you have a and you're also KW luxury, right? So you have a certain price point that you're typically servicing. So what kind of clients are you typically working with?
So, if I really look at the past 12 months, it's been anyone from a first time buyer or like a couple with a baby
Yeah.
or a single doctor wanting his first home. He's been renting for 10 years, or a couple that's 85 and they had a condo on the water. They wanted to sell it and downsize to something else, or they want to be near family. So it's kind of a mixture of all different ages, all different kinds of scenarios. And I really, it's funny. I think sometimes I get along with the older people more. It's like
You're an old soul.
yeah, I'm like an old soul and they love me, and so it's but I feel like I've been working with a lot of buyers this year. I'll tell you the best scenario I've had so far this year. The best story I can come up with would be from KW Golf. I sold my highest, one of my highest price points yet. It was a million two in Fort
Mhm.
Lauderdale. So this was the person I met from my sphere on KW Golf. His name is Mark Fishman. He's become one of my best friends. Right? He's about 55, loves golf. We met because of the group. We played golf together. We had a great time. We hit it off. And he said, "Hey, he's in Maine, by the way. If you need a realtor in Maine, he is the guy."
Okay.
Uh, this is Mark Fishman. Shout out to Mark Fishman. He said, "Hey, I've had this listing of mine in Fort Lauderdale. It was an Airbnb. I bought it in 2022. I want to sell it and I want to get a place in Jupiter." And he's like, the realtor I have listed with it's not moving. It's not moving. And I said, well, it's because it's overpriced. Plain and simple. If it's not selling, it's overpriced. And he just seemed, he took a liking to me for whatever reason. We hit it off. He fired his agent and hired me. So we relisted it, we repositioned it with a better price, better pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and he bought it at the height, so he took a bit of a hit, but I kept on the motivation with him and why he wanted to get rid of it, and we sold it. We sold it for $1,100,000, and got him out from the property, and now he's free to go, got cash to play with, and he's waiting for a good opportunity. And I never would have met him if it wasn't for the KW Golf. You know,
That's awesome.
and
Yeah. No.
I want to say I also double ended it.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I met,
It's back to the relationships, man.
I met the buyer. The buyer came in at an open house when I was playing music. I played music there. I brought out every trick in the book to find a buyer, and
The rock realtor lives.
Rock and Realtor Lives. I did a Facebook Live, and I was playing guitar. I don't know if that's where he saw it, but I did do that. And he came in. He actually came in 3 months prior and wasn't ready. He wasn't ready, and I kept following up with him, and eventually he's the cash buyer that bought it.
That you met at that open house for
Yep,
that home.
that's right.
That's an amazing story right there. That's so
Thank
cool.
you. And it was awesome. It was it just gave me such confidence that realtors have sometimes they have self-doubt and they have little bit negative voices in their head,
Yeah.
and like I was like, no, I am not taking no for an answer. I'm gonna sell this house, whatever it takes. I'm manifesting it happening, and guess what? I manifested it happening.
I
And
love
so
that.
it gave me confidence that, like, no, I do know what I'm talking about. I know how to sell luxury properties. I have what it takes. I got this, you know?
Yeah. That's fantastic, man. You've got that. It only takes one thing to really solidify to your own self really what you're capable of, and then once those chains have been unshackled, the sky is the limit, and then the amount of opportunities that end up coming after that, um, you know you kind of find that they always really have been there. You just haven't been looking the right way to
You got to
see them.
untap it. You got to untap. You got to like untangle the wires in your head.
Yeah.
Like I heard a quote one time where like you learning new habits and learning how to change yourself is like um, undoing rusty wires in your head.
Mm.
You have to like untangle it. You have to untangle those old thoughts and those old things. And it's hard to do because they're nasty and rusty and gross. But once
Yeah.
you untangle that and you reshape your mindset and your mental clarity and framework, like you will do amazing things, man. Like
Yes.
things that you think about ever. I remember being so broke. I'll get real with you. I remember being so broke when I first started real estate. I went to go take out money out of the ATM, and it said I can't because I didn't have any money in my ATM, right? And I remember like I just wish I had a sell $1 million home. I just wish I could. I wish I could. And once I started listening to personal development and listening to positivity every day versus negativity and negative news. And I started following around people in my office who are doing really, really well and just kind of like leaned into that,
Yeah.
more. It just changes your mindset. It changes who you are. You got to like, for things to change, you have to change, you know,
Hmm.
for you to think differently, you have to put stuff in your head that will encourage you,
Yeah.
and pump you up.
It's and we'll kind of make a little pivot here in a little bit, but to that point, I read a book, and I'm only bringing this up because I think that since you listen to things, I think it's a great book, but it speaks directly to what you were just saying. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics, and the
Mhm.
gist of the book, if you will, is really, if I can explain it in one word, it's alignment, right? And it pretty much says it's like you can't outperform how you truly believe you can perform, right? Your actions are always going to converge to the true mental picture that you picture yourself in. So feeding yourself with that positive information and those positive self-talks. I mean, it's a very underrated thing, but the power of that and what it can do for you is it can be truly amazing. It can be truly amazing. So
I agree.
So part of this podcast too is not just letting other people know who you are, but also helping other agents. And we might even have some people tuning in here who might be looking at your particular area. So helping them to kind of uncover a little bit about what your community is like lifestyle. So I'm just kind of curious, how would you describe the vibe of your city, of your town, and are there any favorite local spots or hidden gems or anything that the locals know that
Absolutely.
I think other people should know too?
So my main hub and area is Jupiter and Palm Beach Gardens.
Mhm.
This is where my office is, and it's my favorite beach in the world is Juno Beach. So if you Google Juno Beach Pier, it looks like the Caribbean. Like the water's like so blue, and you've never seen anything like it. And there's an area called Love Street, which is my favorite in Jupiter, where there's all these restaurants that look at Jupiter Lighthouse, and they're all in the water. So all the boats are going by. So if you Google Love Street in Juno Pier, that's probably my favorite. I
Okay.
love Harborside Place, which is where Tiger Woods restaurant is. I love taking the drive on A1A in Jupiter Island past Tiger Woods' house, and like there's so many cool beaches over there, like Hobe Sound Beach and Blowing Rocks Preserve. There's just so many cool naturey beaches that we could check out. There's tons of amazing golf courses, both private and public. So my office is right across from PGA National, and so that's an amazing place to go visit and play if you're a
Mhm.
member. But there's tons of good public courses around here. So I'll
Okay.
call I'll call a course after I leave the office and be like, hey, is there any foursomes I could join? So I'll call Abacoa, which is a sick golf course, or Sandhill Crane, or North Palm Beach Country Club, which is a Jack Nicklaus course around here. So I'll just call and meet people that way. I'll just go join foursomes and meet people. And that's like, I just feel like Jupiter and Palm Beach Gardens is the best vibe that you could ever ask for if you love the ocean, you love golf, and just like a good place to live.
I
Very
mean,
high.
for golf lovers and beach lovers, sounds like paradise, man.
It is. It is. Come visit.
Yeah, I owe you. I owe you a visit. I made a quick drive through the other week.
Mhm.
And as I was driving through, I was like, I got to come down and visit Steve for like a weekend or something,
Like for
and play some golf.
example, my daughter and I, our favorite thing to do is like we'll go to the Juno Pier. You pay $1, and you go in the office. You pay $1. You get an ice cream, and then she's happy. And we walk down the pier. We see lots of cool fish and beautiful water. That's probably our favorite thing to do. And across from that, for free, is a place called Loggerhead Marine Center, where they
Mhm.
have all these rescue sea turtles, like these big rescue sea turtles. Like if there's a sea turtle who's injured, they bring it in, they nurse it back to life, kind of, and they patch them up or whatever, and
Yeah,
then they do these turtle launches where they send them off to the ocean across the street sometimes,
I
and
love that.
it's all free. It's just such cool experiences here in like Jupiter and the Treasure Coast, man. I love it.
That sounds awesome. It sounds very family friendly as well, which I think is
Very family friendly. Very
so.
family friendly. And what I like so much about what I love about Jupiter and the Treasure Coast is that it's the South Florida vibe, but it's away from the hustle bustle of like West Palm Beach and Fort
Mm,
Lauderdale. That's
okay.
why I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, in West Palm area, and now I'm like
Yeah,
we're moving north to over this area in the Treasure Coast, and it's just so much more laid back. It's just that's what I'm looking for at this phase of my life now that I'm a dad at 40.
absolutely.
You know?
I can relate to parenthood too. Yeah. So that those the slow days tend to be some of the best days, especially when you have some things to do. So
Yeah, I
uh,
don't care about the nightlife. I just want golf and beach and go
there you
home.
go. Family time. Absolutely, man. So what would you say makes your market appealing right now? Right? Like tips for somebody who's relocating, considering moving into, the Jupiter area, Southwest Florida. What are some things that you would share for some people who may be considering, or some agents who have some people who may be considering coming down to your area?
I mean, a lot of people are moving from the northern states like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. It's simply because there's no state income tax, and your money goes a lot further for those people. Even though people that were raised in South Florida like me, we think it's crazy expensive, but for those people coming from all these other states, Florida's cheap.
Yeah.
You know, so like I feel like if you're the kind of person who wants this like a laid back quality of life, but still have access to nightlife in West Palm and Fort Lauderdale and Miami, it's like there's so many different cool metropolitan cities here that you can go in one day and come back or go visit. It's like there's so many cool cities to visit. You'll never be bored.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
I
awesome. Yeah.
like.
Excellent.
If you really think about it, like the Southeast corridor, like South Florida,
Mm-hmm.
like you have like I'll just pop off a couple cities. It's like you have Stewart, you have Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, Delray Beach, Boca, Palm Beach, which is a monster in itself. You have Fort Lauderdale, like Deerfield Beach, Pompano Beach, Miami. Like there's so many big cities that you go check out with your family for the day. It's just you'll never be bored.
I love that. And they all have beach in the word, which means that
Yeah,
you're just
they all
right,
have
right next to the ocean.
They all have ocean, and they all have different beach parks you can go to, and different. Each town has a different vibe to it, man. It's like you'll
Yeah.
never see the same place.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So as we wrap up here, I know that we're kind of going almost 30 minutes now, which is fantastic. I'm enjoying the conversation, but I'd love to know, sharing with our audience and other agents, like what makes working with you unique? What would you say is your unique value proposition, or what you think just kind of has allowed your success, and just why people gravitate towards you to help service themselves, like your referral from up in Maine, or somebody who they may know?
Yeah, I love that. So I just truly believe that I'm an extended member of your family for the next 60 days when I'm working with you, right? So
Love
like
that.
I'm gonna treat you like you're my brother or sister, my mom or dad. I'm gonna tell you the advice that I would give to them, right? I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm here to help you through a transition in your life and make that as smooth as I can. So
Hmm.
I have a full-time transaction coordinator, a listing input coordinator. I have a full-time VA, and my TC, she does the contracts and addendums and everything for me. So all I have to do is focus on relationships because that's what matters most, right? Like
Yep.
I'm sure, Mr. Seller, that you agree. You want somebody who's going to tell you the truth no matter what, and make sure your best interests are at heart, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So it makes sense to work with me starting today, doesn't it? So sign right here. No, I just truly, I come from a servant's heart, and I want to do right by my clients and help them get the best deal possible, or net them the most money possible in the shortest amount of time. And I'm always going to be candid with you and tell you the truth, and not sugarcoat things. I'm going to tell you how it really is. And I can tell you from experience from selling my own homes and flipping homes myself. I've been there myself.
Hmm.
So I'm not talking to you like I'm somebody who hasn't sold a house before of my own. And I have so much personal experience that I can promise you that whatever you're stressing about right now is going to be over in 30 days, and it'll be gone. Like I was just helping. I just had a client the other day. She sold a house and bought a house at the same time, and she was super stressed out. Right? We've been there. And I
Yep.
said, hey, like I can tell, I can hear in her voice, she was super stressed out. I said, hey, I found out when I sold and bought a house, I was stressed out so much, and there these little details were stressing me out. HOA wasn't approved, this and that, and I was like, but you know what happened? It did get approved, and we closed, and everything was okay. And I was like, so I promise you, you won't even be worried 30 days from now when you're at the beach with your husband and you're having a drink. You're not going to be worrying about this. I was like,
Right.
it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to be. And it's like if this one, they get all hung up on a certain property, right?
Hmm.
I said, hey, it's gonna work out the way it's meant to be. I was like, if this house works out for you, it's gonna be fine. If it doesn't work out for you, it's going to be fine. And like
Right.
I hear their voice go, you know. So
Yeah.
I just think from being in the business for 10 years, I kind of help you relax and tell you like I'm here for you. I got your back no matter what happens. I'm here to talk to you whenever you want to talk to somebody. I'm here as a friend and a guidance and a counselor and a consultative person. This is a collaboration. You know,
Absolutely. I
that's
love
kind
that.
of my gut reaction.
No, that's fantastic. Servant's heart, client focus, client first. I mean, I think that that's everything that separates agents from the great agents, right? Because we are definitely in a relationship business, and we're here for them, right?
Yeah,
As much as it's just a transaction, it's so much more than a transaction. The transaction really is just the culmination of everything that we need to help our clients go through in order for them to reach the goals that they told us at the very beginning that they wanted to do. And that's what our role and that's what our responsibility is. And I love that that's your mindset when you're going into
it
these
is.
relationships.
Thanks, man. My goal is to make sure that you have a better time doing this than you ever have in the past. Like I want you to feel happy. I want you to feel like you were really treated well. That's the one thing. I want to make sure that you feel treated well.
Wonderful, man. I think that's a great end cap right there, my friend. So I tell you, so Steve, tell our audience, our viewers, and our listeners how if they need to connect with you, if they want to connect with you, how can they connect with you? Social, email, websites. Where are you at?
Well, you can text or call me at 954-993-3573. I'm an open book. Call me anytime. I love sharing and helping other agents too. So call me or text me. You can also follow me on Instagram at Steve V Real Estate. Steve V Real Estate. So that's where you can find me. And I would love to talk to any of you guys. And I appreciate you too.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today. It was a great conversation. I feel like we know each other pretty well, but I feel like I just got some really great deeper insight into who Steve is, why he does what he does, and really what type of service he's looking to provide to his community and his relationships. So, thanks again, my friend, for joining in on the podcast. Anything that you'd like to leave our viewers with before we wrap up?
Sure. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the business that you've given me and my family. So thank you. I think the one advice that I would give right now is that you can have all the money in the world, but it doesn't matter if you're not happy.
And that's it, my friends. We can't go on after that. That is a golden nugget that we all should take away. So I want to say thank you again to Steve, founder of KW Golf, your go-to referral agent down in Southwest Florida. Golf,
Southeast Florida. Southeast Florida. All of South Florida.
all of South Florida,
All of South Florida.
golf aficionado. Thanks, Steve, for coming. Enjoyed our conversation. I'm sure we'll have you back on a future episode. Until
Thanks,
next
brother.
time, see you all later.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Agent to Agent podcast, where we connect you with the people and the places that help make moving feel easier. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to follow along for insider looks at communities across the country. And connect with me if you'd like help getting connected with a trusted agent, no matter where life takes you. We'll see you next time.